For council is Shawn Cooper.
Good morning. My name is Shawn Cooper. I'm a candidate for Collingwood Council. Penny, thank you for extending an invitation to meet with me this morning. Ruperts Landing residents, I appreciate the opportunity to interact with you. I'm currently the local Catholic School Board trustee. I'm the vice chair of the Simcoe County Student Transportation Consortium and a member of the Finance and Audit Committee with an annual operating budget of $250 million. My experience with the transportation portfolio has afforded me the opportunity to discuss active transportation on a regular basis with families to discuss safe walking routes and cycling routes to our schools across the county. I am hopeful the next council follows the path of the City of Orillia in taking and drafting a pedestrian charter to provide a guideline to encourage active transportation in our community. You know, I'm always impressed at Ruperts Landing how beautiful your waterfront is. And that is my priority. You've worked hard to enjoy this lifestyle. As a member of your council, I would work hard to protect your waterfront investment. You deserve a council that will focus on the elimination of phragmites on our waterfront. Working with Georgian Bay Forever and the Nottawasaga Conservation Authority, Collingwood must assertively commit itself to the eradication of this invasive species. I am hopeful your next council will employ seasonal staff to address this issue. The Waterfront Master Plan is a powerful document. I would support the execution of this plan. I believe in a pay-for-play system. Residents of Collingwood graciously share the amenities we are blessed with, welcoming tourists with open arms. Currently, residential taxpayer dollars in part are being used to fund the cleanup of our parks. I propose increased fines for littering and weekend seasonal bylaw officers to ensure our community waterfront parks are being respected. Collingwood residents would receive parking passes with their tax bills for waterfront parks. Non-residents would pay for parking. I would encourage you to check out my website, ShawnGCooper.com, to find out more about me and my platform. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss my platform with you today. Sincerest thanks to you all.
Thank you. Do we have a question? No, you're welcome to. Oh, do we? Dave?
On the parking passes, just to extend that. I play hockey here.
Yes.
And the arena downtown, Eddie Bush, that's the only arena I've ever played at in, I don't know, 40 years that you actually have to pay for parking on top of paying for doing stuff. So for facilities like that, for local residents, would you consider extending the parking passes to people that are actually using facilities like that as well, not just the park area?
Absolutely. You live here, you pay a tremendous amount in taxes. I think it's only fair that you should receive some services for that, and the parking should be inclusive with that. Thank you so much for the question.
For council is George Dickenson.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm George Dickenson. I'm going to keep this short and I hope a little bit sweet. I just want to let people know that I'm from this area. I'm at the point in my life where I want to continue the growth and the good things that are going to happen here in the future in Collingwood. I just want to be part of that. I want to be part of the council that can make some nice decisions, good decisions, based on input from the community, based on input from the people who do the hard work to present reports to council. Basically, I'm an advocate for sure for that waterfront. That's the question I want to address. I really think that, and I don't think anybody in here doesn't agree, the waterfront is very important to have done to attract the people that live here to go there, attract the youth to go there, attract people that are coming here, businesses. The waterfront is essential. We have to have that in place and get it started, get it done so you can all start enjoying it. Thank you.
Any questions? If not, you're welcome to make a few more comments.
Well, I have a few. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask a question because kind of something is curiosity. One of the things that is required in town, and I know you haven't addressed that, some other people before did, and I didn't have an opportunity to ask, is public transit. My wife had an interesting experience just last week. She was trying to get from Ruperts Landing to Blue Mountain and back. Very simple,
How long did that take?
very simple thing. So couldn't figure out the information on the website, so we called the transit office in town. And she asked 3 questions. It was very fortunate, all 3 answers were wrong. So how can you run a transit when the transit authority, the people in the office don't know what the schedule is and don't know how it works? She was told everything was wrong information. That's it. She managed to get to Blue in a half an hour, but it took 2.5 hours to get back.
Well, it sounds like there was a little bit of miscommunication between the people who are driving and the people who are trying to get people moving back and forth. I don't have real answers for that, except that definitely would have to be improved, wouldn't it? Someone touched on it earlier about transportation in the area. That's very important for all the Clearview, Town of Blue Mountains, Collingwood. We're all in this together. We're all growing together. The people that can't get around, people that have to get to work, people that want to just, younger people, maybe not driving yet, excuse me, we have to be able to get them moving around and get them to enjoy what's going on around in the Collingwood area. So to improve the bus system, though, not exactly sure how we can go about that, but it certainly has to be something that has to be addressed and looked at.
Next up is Cam Ecclestone.
Well, thanks for doing this, folks. Good morning, and we certainly appreciate being here. From my point of view, we had an amazing year, or term, and with widespread community engagement, over 900 recorded people, we created a community-based strategic plan. We reduced debt from 39 million to 27 million, and possibly another 3 million this year. Our debt reduction program, along with our asset management plan, earned Collingwood the Municipality of the Year in 2016. We stopped the wind turbines from being built around our airport, making our airport more valuable. We kept property taxes to less than 1% of each of the last 3 years. According to our town treasurer, all of our various reserves are fully funded for the future. We've taken up our code of conduct legislation. We had a full-time purchasing manager on board who updated all of our procurement policies. We initiated Silage Days Festival along with the Live and Original Music Series, skateboard park, and as well as a new baseball diamond. And we created a 3-phased waterfront master plan with significant public engagement. If I could just take a couple of minutes, on a personal note, I took action on youth homelessness issue, which visiting over 60 individuals and agencies, culminating in the creation of the Barbara Wider House run by Home Horizons, and Kathy's very involved in that as a member of the board. We have 7 kids there now that used to be homeless that have a place to sleep, a nice bedroom, a plan of action. They are taught what's good to eat, what isn't good to eat by naturopaths, and we've had 2 graduates who have broken out of the homelessness area and will have a life and a job, and hopefully next year I'd like to work on this more to flush maybe 8 or 10 or 12 people more through it so that they have a life. And as a member of our economic development team, we visited over 40 companies with a view to what issues they have. And Collingwood was named the Entrepreneurial Capital of Canada in 2016. Quite an accomplishment. I was also instrumental in helping with the creation of the Collingwood Youth Centre, cutting the ribbon there. And as a member of the library board, we completed a comprehensive strategic plan and became an accredited Ontario library. Thank you very much.
You have a question here?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick question. What has Collingwood's council done about cybersecurity? We've seen problems in Midland, Orillia, and so on.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Cybersecurity, though, because of
Cybersecurity.
public records being accessed and hacked.
Well, you know, as you know, we have our technology now in-house, and there's 3 people now working in the IT department, and we have done, I think, an amazing job at protecting our information. When we took it over, it wasn't so great, but now we have a chief guy who is doing a really incredible job. And as I suggest often, we should let the Russians try to hack us and see where we stand. Right? So that'd be a good test anyway. So
Up with his 3 minutes is Tim Fryer. Tim?
Hello everyone, and I want to begin by thanking Ruperts for allowing me this opportunity to have a chat with everybody. It's great, I wasn't so sure about going after the break because sometimes you lose people, but that didn't happen here, and that just shows you how committed everybody is to trying to understand. I don't envy us the position or the situation of picking 7 people from 19. I'm having trouble with it. So I can only imagine the people who are not familiar with the individuals and some of the issues. So anyway, again, my name's Tim Fryer. I have a website and a lot of my personal details on that, so I'll leave that to people to have a look at it there. But I do want to talk about a little bit about my background because it kind of ties into the subject that I'm going to talk about, which is the vision that I have for the harbor land and the harbors. And I'm a first-term councillor, but also have 33 years or as the CFO of the Collingwood utilities, hydro and water. And so for the better part of 4 decades, I've been making tough decisions for this community in regards to financial and strategic planning matters. And it ties to my passion for Collingwood. I've lived, worked, and played here all my life. I've grown up with it. I believe Collingwood's grown, it's changed, I've seen it change. It needs to change, and it's always going to need to change. So, as I said, I have a passion for Collingwood, and that's what drew me into the politics part of things. And I also have a family history. I said last year, standing here, I said there hadn't been a Fryer in the town hall in 100 years. So, in 2014, it was about time. That's no longer the case, obviously. But also my wife, Lori, who I've been married to for almost 30 years, her family has history here as well. Jack Saunders was a longtime councillor, and the reason I'm mentioning him specifically is because one of my passions is about the harbour and the harbour lands, and it comes from our family history. Jack was instrumental in creating the Harbourview Park. He was instrumental in talking town council at the time into purchasing that property and moving forward with the Arboretum. The bridge linking First Street to the Arboretum is named in honor of him. So that all being said, my vision, I believe, is in sync with the community's vision. Early in our term, I supported the council initiative to create a community-based strategic plan. That identified that enhanced public access to a revitalized waterfront was important to the community. And from that, we initiated the waterfront master plan. And from that, one of the objectives is that we are to guide development while preserving natural and cultural heritage. So I support all of those things. And that's what I mean. My vision is in sync with that. And the other aspect of it, of course, is the terminals. The terminals is a very, very important part of that harbor. It's an iconic structure. It basically encapsulates the fabric of our community. So we have to do everything we can to preserve that cultural aspect. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
No one from the council or wanting to be council has talked about property taxes yet for condos versus residential and how condos are paying proportionally more than residential for the amount of money that we have to put out for roads, sewer, and everything else. When I was in Kitchener 15 years ago, the city of Kitchener reduced our property taxes, understanding that condos paid more proportionally. What is your opinion on condo taxes versus residential situation?
I'm going to start out by talking about taxes in general. And I think we've got a real opportunity coming up in this new term with a large influx of cash coming in from the sale of 2 strategic assets through the exercise that we endeavored. What I'd like to see is a 5-year strategic financial plan and tie taxes to that vision within that plan. So during that exercise, what you'd want to do is you'd want to look at the proportional amount of taxes coming from the different sectors, along with the user fees coming from for other reasons, and that's water and wastewater. So I can't tell you anything specifically about, because I don't understand fully what the percentage breakdown would be. But certainly I'm a numbers guy. As I said, I was 33 years as CFO. And I was glad not, actually, there wasn't a finance question, because if I got started on that, I don't know how I would have only gone 3 minutes. So it's something that needs to be studied, though.